So with my mom's cognitive issues, she had a various amount of um, aspects that she just couldn't get over, kind of over the hump. She could walk fine, but it was always, she walked slowly and then ended up having to walk with a walker. Her balance was super, super off. So we always kind of had to walk with her. I always had the bands to walk with. We had another organization. We reached out to them regarding some issues in our house because our house, the master bedroom was way upstairs and we had 18 steps to go up there. So with my mom's balance issues, they were able to kind of put some things in the house that helped out a little bit better. And things that you wouldn't ever think, like trying to get yourself out of bed or get yourself up off the toilet or out of the shower. You never realize how much force you're actually trying to pull up or things like that. And my mom just didn't have that, or she didn't know how to tell her body to do that. So she did a lot of physical therapy. She did occupational therapy as well, for her kind of obviously her memory loss. She still remembered, the main things. It was just her short-term memory that wasn't very good. She would tell us 1 second that she had a headache. And so obviously when there's a headache, you have to get worried because something could be happening, whether it's a side effect of chemo or, an anti-seizure medicine, who knows. And then 5 minutes later, she said she's fine. And then she'll have a headache again. And so we never knew. And she also just had just different, speech difficulties with like full sentences. I mean, she would talk in full sentences, but sometimes they weren't as coherent as they should have been, or they might be a little jumbled. With her balance issues, she fell a few times. She unfortunately broke her nose one morning. So we had to take her to the ER at 4 o'clock in the morning. But thankfully everything was fine, with her head and whatnot, because obviously that was our main issue. She developed blood clots in her legs and her lungs from one of the chemos. So we had to rush her to the ER then, to get her on blood thinners. And she was on blood thinners from that time until the end, when we took her off everything. So that was something that was interesting, that my stepdad's really not a fan of needles. So I had to learn how to inject blood thinning into my mom. Never thought I'd have to do that. And so there was a very, different things here and there, but the biggest thing was, I think it was our patience. We always had to remind ourselves that it was the tumor we're mad at. It's not my mom that we're mad at. Whether she was taking forever to get out of bed, it's like, okay, mom, we're going to be late to your doctor's appointment. Like, it's the tumor we're mad at, things like that. And she had no clue what was happening. And I think that was the hardest part. But I think if she actually knew what was going on 100% with her body, with the way it wasn't working, or the way her mind wasn't functioning the way she wanted to, or if she couldn't get a word out, I think that would have been way worse.